Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to a new franchise on this channel. The Las Vegas Raiders are coming to you here soon. This is something I've been looking forward to for a while. This will be the new series continuation from the McIntyre Flyers and then Black Knights, originally the Lions franchise. Of course, we are wrapping up Olympia as well, the Raiders. So I figured, why not stop recording one Raiders series and start recording another one? And who better to lead these Raiders than Serge Cruz, the former Season 1 running back from Olympia. I know you all probably remember him. I remember him. Big, bruising power back, and of course never made the league, never really had the talent for that, but that's okay. He actually will end up making the league as a coach. Here are the settings for this upcoming series. I'm going to do all Madden on 11-minute quarters here. I really like how many plays that ends up being. Just a little bit of a heads up, the sliders I used for this first episode were default 50 sliders on everything. I did change that for my second episode. Actually, even the first game of the season will be the default sliders. As you can see, we have very high and very hard on all impacts here for free agencies and trades. Progressive fatigue I do end up turning off. It's just a broken function in this game as it's been for a while. But yeah, default sliders I will be changing over to the Mat 10 sliders in the second episode in our second game of the season. You'll probably see why. The games were a little wonky to start, but that's okay. The quarterback of this series we will start with is Gardner Minshew II. Of course, the former Wazoo quarterback. Very solid field general. I think he's a decent back half starting quarterback. Maybe top end backup. Aiden O'Connell, similarly, I think would be close to starting potential. Really more of just a solid backup, and that's probably where I'll look to just stay with him. And then our running back core here, Alexander Madison, Zamir White, and Amir Abdullah. I am excited for Alexander Madison. I think he's a decent running back here. And then, of course, the star of this team, Davante Adams, who was acquired from the Packers and really has not had the chance to flourish in the system, having Derek Carr as his quarterback, which was fine, but then having Jimmy G, which was not so fine. Jacoby Myers is a pretty interesting player. I don't like the money he's making. Both him and Davante are making way too much. As we release Michael Gallup, he retired in real life, so we're not going to keep him on the team. Trey Tucker, another player I'm pretty excited about. He's going into his second year, and he was not the most impactful in year one, but not the worst either. He will be handling kick return duties, and I think he's a decent player that if we get his slot ratings up, he could be very solid. Now, the tight end they drafted was Brock Bowers, and I think Brock Bowers is going to be a very, very special player in the NFL. The problem is he's just not quite there yet, of course, and he doesn't really project as a blocking tight end. Michael Mayer, similarly, does project as a blocking tight end, but it just is more of an all-around okay guy. Colton Miller, of course, we have a very solid left tackle here. Our offensive line as a whole is good. Jackson Powers Johnson, I think, was a very good draft here, guard. And then Max Crosby, the best player on this team on the defense here, will play edge a lot, might play interior some, we'll see. Tyree Wilson, the head-scratching first-round pick from last year out of Texas Tech. I think I'm excited to see if I can kind of revitalize what was not a good first season in his career. Christian Wilkins, a very solid nose tackle here. Really think he's going to be good at plugging up runs here for the Raiders. One of the top defensive tackles in the league. And then a linebacking core that is incredibly weak. This might be one of the first areas we look to hit in the draft. Tommy Eichenberg, an interesting player. And then cornerback, we're going to need some help here. Although Jacorian Bennett is someone I'm interested in with that speed, maybe not the best player. At safety, we have Marcus Epps and Trayvon Moehrig out of TCU. I'm not sure if I'm saying that fully correctly, but pretty excited to see him. The first move I made in this series was signing Stephon Gilmore. Mostly, I don't know why he's available, mostly because I wanted to play with him. I played with him in my Flyers franchise, but let's go ahead and jump into a game here as AJ Cole will kick this one off, and this will be returned at the 7-yard line. To about the 25, and that is where the Vikings will start their game. And of course, J.J. McCarthy, the rookie coming out of Michigan, didn't have to go too far here for the NFL. First play is going to be a run. Aaron Jones acquired over from the Green Bay Packers, breaking this one out wide. Big time run here. And this is, of course, we're going to go through all 3 preseason games. Mostly show the highlights. Now, 1st and 10 handoff. Jones bouncing this one out wide. Big time run there. So 35 yards quickly. And again, part of it's the sliders. These will change. But also the run stopping on this team needs to be better. 1st and 10. Nice throw here from JJ. And that one is caught down to the 22. Now, play action. McCarthy throwing this one out. Caught. And that will be 6 to start the game here for Addison, as the Vikings did not take long to score. So what about these Raiders? What can Gardner Minshew do? Well, first play of the game, picked, intercepted, and there'd be a lot of that in the preseason. I'll just give you a fair warning now. There will be a lot of that. Mekhi Blackman, nice play here, but the Vikings would be just one of 3 teams to get a lot of interceptions, as we do get a big sack here, 2nd and 18. Big play there. Max Crosby, his only sack of the preseason, but I didn't play him too much. You don't really need to play a guy like that too much in the preseason. Now here's someone I was really excited to see as he rips off a huge run here, Alexander Mattison. And this run was just one of many to come this preseason where Mattison played well above his ratings, in my opinion. Not the fastest running back, probably the slowest on the team if I had to guess. Nice curl route here to Devontae Adams. But Mattison playing way above his head, and I think that would earn him at least a chance at a starting job. Now Minshew rolling left, intercepted. Can't blame Minshew for that one. A lot of the picks in this preseason were my fault. I will get better at it, but again, the sliders were a little bit to blame. You'll see what I mean in episode 2. Minshew rolling out to the right now. Minshew can't get that one over. That should have been a lob maybe. Instead it's a bullet, and that one gets picked off. And that's just, it's going to continue. But I will show some good plays as well. Don't expect it all to be interceptions. O'Connell checks into the game for the first time, throwing this one out. That is caught. And Hunter Bryant takes this one down to the 45-yard line. We'll see if he can make the team. I do like to keep 3 tight ends. If you watch the Flyers franchise, you'd know that. Now, O'Connell sacked and actually will lose the ball here. Strip sack. And that is picked up. Yet another turnover for this Raiders team. This first preseason game really was just a dress rehearsal, and we're just going to discount most of what happens here. As O'Connell gets hit as he throws, this one's intercepted. Again. And a lot of this is on me. I need to make quicker decisions. But again, the defense was just all over wide receivers at times, as Christian Wilkinson, a nice play down to the 21. We're going to see a lot of different receivers in, I think, outside of Myers and Adams. I do think Trey Tucker currently has that slot role locked up, but I do think that could be taken over as Mayer catches this one, and he will score the first touchdown of the game for the Raiders. And Las Vegas, I do think, has a very solid tight end core. I think that's one of the biggest things we can build on this team. Now, Jalen Guyton catching this one down to the 18-yard line. Guyton out of North Texas. Actually got to see a bit of him back when I was going to North Texas. Nice play there. Used to have Mason Fine throwing to him. Not sure if this is an upgrade or a downgrade, but Jalen Guyton caught for a touchdown. More of a deep threat player, but he definitely can make things happen underneath as well. We'll see if he can challenge Trey Tucker for that slot role. Now checking into the game, Sam Darnold, and he's going to be sacked here. Nice play as Facyson takes him down. And we'll go to the 4th quarter. Gardner Minshew checking back in the game. I wanted to see a mix of reps for backups with the quarterbacks and starters. So you'll see Aiden McConnell get some time in with the starters. You'll see Gardner Minshew get some time in with the backups, as I'm still trying to figure out who to take week 1 with the starting job. Nice throw on the run here for Gardner Minshew as he finds Jalen Guyton. Now Minshew throwing out a little bubble pass to Wilkerson. Wilkerson breaking off a tackle, getting inside the 15, down to the 14. So Christian Wilkerson may be challenging for that slot role as well. Now a throw here to Hunter Bryant down to the 2-yard line. I really liked how good the tight end core that was this game. Of course, we didn't see Brock Bowers too much. Zamir White punching this one into the end zone. But I thought Bryant was solid as a 3rd string tight end. Mayer, I think, is really impressive. I want to see him get a lot of time still. And then Darnold going down once again here. Big time sack. The Raiders defense finally picking it up a little bit as we would stall out their scoring. Now Minshew throwing a duck of a pass, but finds McAllister. If it was a better pass, it was 6 points. McAllister catching this one down to the 26-yard line. Minshew under center. Dropping back, throwing this one underneath to Mayer. And Mayer, yet another nice play down to the 10-yard line. Was getting him a lot of reps here in the fourth quarter, which was nice. Now 2nd down and 4 at the goal line. Finding Jalen Guyton in the end zone, untouched. Nice route from him. Guyton, very much impressed in this first game. Probably the most impressive player on the team, I had to think, in this first one. Madison also was incredibly impressive as a nice throw here. Darnold finding Jackson for the touchdown. And that would pretty much do it here for this first game. And we'd have a press conference after it. These are a little goofy. I'm just going to prepare you. You should be having a halfback position battle according to most experts. I agree. Which stat will determine the winner of the battle between Alexander Madison and Zamir White. And the choice for me was highest yards per carry. I didn't like these a whole lot, but I thought Madison was already dominating in that area, and he was who I was already leaning towards being the starter. So we'll see if that can work out. And then Tyree Wilson had to talk to Serge Cruz. Coach, my agents were telling me my personality can be a problem. There may be some truth to that. Now this is pretty cool. It's goofy, but it's kind of cool. He's obsessed with his brand and socials all the time. Would you change that about him? And you know what? Serge Cruz, he would change that about him. Now we don't like changing people's personalities, but in this case, Serge Cruz wanted him to be more of a team player, and Tyree Wilson would accept that. So now Tyree Wilson is a team player. Keep in mind, or actually save this for future reference, as Tyree Wilson, being a team player, might make some things happen later on in this series, or even in this episode. We'll see. But Tyree Wilson now team player, and the Raiders go to Las Vegas. They go home. They're going to take on the Cowboys here in Game 2 of preseason. Mike McCarthy, the Cowboys come in. Very, very good team, looking to maybe avenge what was a bad loss last season to the Packers. First run of the game, and Madison breaks this one out wide. A huge run of 20 yards here. And immediately Alexander Madison maybe showing that he's already got that roll locked up. Now the stretch out wide, great blocking from Mayer, and Madison with better speed than you would expect on him. And he's already up to 50 yards on 2 carries. Yeah, let's just go ahead and say it now. The running back battle was won very easily here. Minshew throwing this one to the end zone, picked off Trayvon Diggs. Diggs does a lot of that in his career, and he does one more there. 1st and 10, Cowboys on offense now, and Dak would find his target here. That's Jalen Tolbert streaking to the end zone, past Marcus Epps, over Stephon Gilmore. Again, a lot of this I think will be a little different with slider changes. Not that I'm going to make them easier, but I'm going to make it a little more balanced, I think. And then Jacoby Myers taking a nice catch here from Gardner Minshew down to the 37. I really like Myers as an outside player here. I don't think he'll see much time in the slot, although I do think he'd be good there as well. Madison taking another nice run here as he's up to 59 yards running. Now Dak Prescott and the Cowboys back on offense, throwing this one out. And that would be caught by Jalen Tolbert. Breaks a tackle and then dives into the end zone. Jalen Tolbert with an amazing preseason game here as he looks to be a starting wide receiver for the Cowboys. Now another handoff to Madison, cutting down to the 44-yard line. Up to 70 yards per rushing on 5 carries. Yeah, I think it's safe to say he'll probably beat Zamir White. Aiden O'Connell in the game now, throwing this one. Nice throw to Jacoby Myers. I really thought all of our quarterbacks here, well, all being Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell, looked very comfortable when they got a clean pocket. Of course, that's not going to happen too often, as Madison stretching this one out to the right there. Will score. Raiders go up and make another play here as they finally score a touchdown. And now on offense, once again, Tyree Wilson with the blown up play on Ezekiel Elliott. And like I said, keep in mind, he is now a team player. Tyree Wilson looking to save his career after a very bad rookie season. A questionable draft pick inside the top 10 for the Raiders. How about that play? Maybe we will see him revitalize his career, which is funny coming from a 23-year-old player. As Zamir White takes this one for about 12 yards. A nice run from him. Definitely don't want to count it out just yet. Now, hit on the throw. Wilkerson down to the 5-yard line. A very nice play here. As the Raiders offense definitely got a lot more movement in this game. Gardner with some nice throws, especially while getting hit. And then this play, one of the best throws of the preseason so far. Mayer with the catch. Michael Mayer, really solid preseason from him. I do want to see a lot of twin tight end sets. Now a nice run from Rico Dowdle, and this one would go down to the 5. As our run defense was definitely our weakest spot, I'd say, on our team in the preseason. Cooper Rush now throwing a beautiful fade route here. Textbook fade there, as the Cowboys would score once again. Now back on offense, Minshew, handoff Zamir White taking this one out right, and he would fumble. Would be recovered by the Raiders. But in case Alexander Madison hadn't already locked it up, that would seal the nail in the coffin for Zamir White. Another nice play here from Cooper Rush, however. The Cowboys offense really solid. Good backup quarterback there. Jalen Brooks now scoring. And we'll get some time from Carter Bradley here. From South Alabama, throw to Zamir White down to the 4-yard line. A really nice play. It'll be first and goal at the 4. Bradley throwing this one to the end zone. Caught Bachman for the touchdown. That's Alex Bachman. And the Raiders would look really good in the second preseason game. Now, one trade I'd make in between waiting for the next preseason game was Jalen Darden out of Cleveland. This is another UNT player. Actually was teammates with Jalen Guyton for 1 year, I believe. And Darden was somebody I wanted to trade for, 25 years old. We would trade Andres Pete and Hunter Bryant for him. I know Bryant had a really solid preseason to this point, but I thought this would give us good line depth. And Jalen Darden, who I would move to running back, as we did not have a single running back on the team that I thought was remotely good at catching the ball. And obviously Darden comes in and is immediately the best one at doing that. He will be the third down back, assuming he plays well. Let's go ahead and jump into the final game of preseason here. And this would be an up and down one here. Brock Purdy and the 49ers coming into the game. Nice sack here. Divine Diablo making the play, as we will be running a lot of cover 1 blitzes. Now Alexander Madison running this one down to the 47-yard line. Nice play from him, as again he's locked it up at this point. I just wanted to see him run a few more times because it was really fun watching him run. Jalen Guyton on the bubble screen here. A nice pickup of about 15 yards. Now second down and 10 for Minshew under center. Handoff. Madison stretching this one out wide. Madison running through tacklers. This guy was special, and I think we might have our Josh Jacobs replacement. Josh Jacobs who? No, I do miss Josh Jacobs. Nice play here from Jalen Guyton. The bubble screen is covered this time, but he still makes a play happen with his feet. I do think he might see some split time with Trey Tucker for that slot roll until somebody breaks out. Is Alexander Madison running through people? He will not go down. This was an absurd preseason for Madison, and I was ready for it to go to the regular season and see if he could shock the league here, as Guyton again making plays. I do think we need to get him a lot of touches. Minshew rolling out to the right would find Devontae Adams for his first touchdown here. Adams did not have the most impressive preseason. I think that's mostly because I did not do a good job of targeting him, and potentially the sliders as well. Now Brock Purdy would get hit, a fumble here, as Wilkerson and Tyree Wilson would combine to make the sack, and Divine Diablo would scoop and score. The Raiders defense, I think, can be very solid. So Purdy and the 49ers back on offense now, splitting Mac out wide, C-Mac that is. And this one thrown right to Stephon Gilmore, as we would pick that off. Second straight turnover for Brock Purdy. The 49ers in self-destruct mode, and the Raiders defense really stepping it up here, the starters. And we will see them until the fourth quarter, as Madden, again, does not have preseason really all that well done. Jalen Darden, a nice run there, now getting on the stretch, and nice juke move. Darden looking pretty good taking handoffs out of the gun. I do want to see him also run some routes. Now third down and 8. Minshew throwing this one out. Nice throw here to Jalen Guyton. He's got speed, and Guyton down to the 16-yard line here. Guyton, not necessarily the fastest top-end speed, but it's going to be faster than a lot of defensive players, as Madison takes this one down inside the 5. Again, we do not need to see more of him. Might be time to give Madison a little rest, actually, going into this final preseason, or to finish off this final preseason game. Minshew taking this one off and running with it. And I think this drive solidified for me that Gardner Minshew would be QB1 headed into week 1. Really nice play from him. He's faster than Aiden O'Connell. I still think he's got what it takes. Now O'Connell in the game, I still think he had a good preseason. Christian Wilkerson catching this one down to the 40, PI on the play. Of course, we're not going to accept that. But yeah, I think O'Connell's very solid. I like him as a long-term backup. I think of him similar to a Cooper Rush, where he's a very good game manager. He won't necessarily throw you out of the game, but he also can't throw you back into a game necessarily. Zamir White has a really nice carry here. I just wanted to highlight that. I do want to get him some touches just as a spell for Madison. O'Connell, hit as he throws, delivers this one to Gentry, who now would step into that tight end 3 role after trading away Hunter Bryant. And we'll just see if we can get some more touches here for O'Connell. Dropping back, hit as he throws, and this one's a strip sack. This will go back for 6. And that would all but nearly end the preseason for the Raiders. I do have one final drive for y'all. We'll start here with 40 seconds left. 3rd and 14. O'Connell throwing this one. Nice throw to the outside here. Trey Turner catches it. We're going to hurry up to the line here. 1st and 10. 10 seconds remaining. O'Connell throwing this one to the end zone. Caught. And Turner with the score. And a nice way to end the preseason. A little momentum here, as I thought the Raiders' last 2 games of preseason looked really, really good. 34-25, your final score is the 49ers win. But I think we had a few questions answered going into the season, and I'm really excited to see this team that I don't actually know a whole lot about and see how they can gel. So after the preseason was over, we got word that Madison should win the battle. We got asked if he did win the battle, and he did win the battle. That was not even in question. Alexander Madison is RB1 going into week 1. Now, a talk about team culture with the team. We're having a little bit of a team meeting here. Serge Cruz asking how our culture should define what we do. Gardner Minshew asks, what culture do you want us to embrace? With that beautiful hair of his, Uncle Rico. Now, I thought about going physical, playing with toughness. That would be Serge Cruz's MO. I did end up going with discipline, mistake-free football. That also described him, I would say, pretty well. And so that'll actually give us a really nice boost of play recognition and pursuit for the entire season. I do think that'll help us out a lot. We needed to stop running angles, so that should help with that. And then the play rec should really help with our players. Let's go ahead and make some cuts here. A lot of these guys going to the practice squad. Basically, if they're eligible for the practice squad, they go to the practice squad. Otherwise, they get cut. Carter Bradley did not make the team. We will rock for now with just Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. And some more cuts here, as I'll just speed this up. DJ Turner did have that really nice play at the end of preseason. He still will get cut. Tight end, of course, we're going to keep all 3 tight ends. Don't think we can afford to get rid of one of those. And yeah, just excited for Madden 25. Let's just talk about that real quick. I've seen a lot of talking about it not being good. I really have enjoyed it so far playing it. I'm going to make this my primary series of my channel going forward after the end of the Olympia and Flyers or McIntyre franchise. I do plan to do a College Football 25 Dynasty. I've not been impressed with the game. That's just as simple as it is. I'm not impressed with that game, but I have seen some positive changes in it. The last few updates. I do think I'll go ahead and start a Dynasty on it, and I'm not sure it's going to be a team from Texas. That's all I will say. Now we're just going to assign some players to the practice squad here to round out our practice squad and get ready for season 1, as I will see you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Really looking forward to this series. Again, it's the 2nd Raiders series on my channel, but I think this is going to be a fun one. Of course, we won't have any custom players, but that's all right. I will leave you with this. Have a good one.